Hello and welcome, I am HenryPlays and this is my friend Pedro. This video is part of a series called Games Pass Reviews, where I find new games on the Xbox or PC Games Pass and review them to see if it's a game that suits you. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I upload every Tuesday and Thursday, so please don't forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on any future videos. On the screen right now, you're going to see the timestamps for the different sections of the video. We have a description, a review, and end with a conclusion. Thank you all for watching, and on with the video. Quickly, before I start, I've currently got the windows open because it is incredibly hot where I am, so I apologise if there is any background noise. My Friend Pedro is an arcade-style shoot-'em-up platformer where you'll find yourself being woken up by a talking, flying banana that goes by the name Pedro. You wake up in a butcher's basement, not knowing how you got there. Your voiceless, emotionless, and expressionless character then goes on to do everything that the banana tells him to do, which is mostly just shooting and killing a lot of people. But forget about the story of this game, as you're only really made to look at it very rarely when there are short cutscenes. This game is clearly designed with the bullet time and gung fu primarily in the crosshairs. This game is designed to flow as you run, jump, spin, and twirl across all of the levels, and it does not disappoint. This game was made to make you feel like John Wick or Agent 47, and that is exactly what it does. The bullet time doesn't really take away from that, as it adds an additional level of skill to the game, as you can perform moves and stunts that you cannot usually perform when not using it. There are a total of 40 levels in My Friend Pedro, and you will find yourself finishing the game at around 4 to 8 hours in. The game gives you the tools and weapons necessary to keep the game from going stale as you progress through the story. You're provided with different guns and weapons, which all provide you with an advantage in certain situations. Shotguns are better up close and personal, whereas dual pistols and dual Uzis are better when trying to kill targets that are on opposite sides of you. You are also given a series of kickable objects that you can hurl at your enemies. Some of these objects are body parts, knives, pans, and skateboards. Oh, and you can ride the skateboard as well. I could go on and tell you absolutely everything about the game, but if you go and play the first chapter, you'll know everything you need to know to get you acquainted with the game. Like always, I'm going to start off by talking about the positive points before moving on to some of the negative ones. My first positive point about My Friend Pedro is probably the most important one, and it is that the game flows incredibly well. By that I mean, the game itself is incredibly easy to play. You'll find yourself mastering the controls particularly quickly, and you can just have fun without thinking about anything. You'll find yourself becoming incredibly satisfied with all of your encounters and takedowns of enemies, whether you're splitting your dual pistols to kill enemies on either side of you, or you're spinning in a sea of people to avoid all the bullets that are heading your way. Honestly, just try the game out yourself, it is incredibly fun. Another positive point is that there are hours and hours of fun to be had with this game. There are 40 unique levels to play around with, not to mention that you can go back and complete the levels that you've already completed to try and get a better score, or complete it at a higher difficulty. This game has a great amount of playability and the fact that you can always improve. The more you play the game, the better you're going to be at that game. This is incredibly apparent in My Friend Pedro. On the second playthrough, you'll get a much higher score than the first one, and you'll be able to play the game at a higher difficulty while still executing the great moves that you were able to when playing on the lower difficulties. Now we're going to move on to some of the negative points. Firstly, I have to talk about the lack of a decent story and general backstory. At the beginning, being awoken by a floating banana telling you to kill people isn't exactly the most boring story that anyone can come up with, but there isn't really any emotional depth beyond that. Because your character is so faceless and emotionless, you struggle to connect with it on an emotional level. So if you're looking for a story game, sorry bud, this really ain't the one. But if you are looking for a shoot 'em up fun game, then you've come to the right place. My second negative point is about some of the commentary that comes from the talking banana. It's really so stale and boring. Honestly, some people may find it funny, I myself am not one of those people. It's either trying too hard to be funny or not trying hard enough, because whatever it's doing, it's not working. I tell you what, it's a good thing that the actual mechanics and playability of this game are fantastic. Some of the jokes that the banana tries to make just really aren't that funny, and it's just kinda off-putting when you're playing the game. Overall, My Friend Pedro is a fantastic game. Honestly, play it. Just play it. It's such a fun shoot 'em up action game, I can't really think of any game that matches it in the way that it makes you feel. The adrenaline rush when jumping into waves of enemies, flying through buildings that are under construction, killing bounty hunters that think it's Christmas. There's really no other game like it. I recommend that everybody at least tries to play the first chapter. If you don't like it, you haven't wasted too much of your time. If you do like it, you've found a game that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe so that you do not miss any future related videos. Check out my other social medias down in the description and comment down below any questions or queries that you may have. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great day. Ciao.